Scott.
I'm Russell.
And I'm Leo. This is Spitball. Welcome to Spitball, where three wizardly wantrepreneurs and a guest empty our heads of startup and tech product ideas that we have stuck up in there so you can all have them for free. Anything that we say is yours to keep. And this week, Russell, I believe you brought our guest.
Yes. This is Jess Zoe. She's famous for being a super entrepreneur, momtrepreneur, as well as hot tub pool extraordinaire.
Careful.
And believe it or not, Sam Zoe is married to her. So the previous guest of our show. Yeah.
One of our first guests.
That's right. Yeah, she's the more famous version of that by far. So thank you, Jess, for joining us. My intros are the best. So.
Welcome.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that kind introduction, Russell. Yeah, I'm glad to be on your show, and I'm really excited to share my idea that I came up with today.
We're so hyped to have you. This is going to be so much fun. To get us started this week, I want to play a little warm-up game here. I'm going to call this one Founder or Pharma. So I have a few nonsense words that I'd like to throw at y'all. We'll go down the line one by one here. I want you to tell me if this is a startup or tech product or if this is a drug that exists as a prescription drug in the U.S. And we start always, as we always do every time, with our guest, Jess. Jess,
great.
Is this a product, tech thing, or is this a drug? Alteryx. Alteryx.
That sounds like a drug.
It is a data analytics platform.
All right.
For skincare. No.
Scott Entresto. Entresto.
It's like a bad magician. Entresto.
Entresto.
I'm going to say a drug.
It's a Harry Potter spell. It is a heart failure medication.
Oh,
very good.
Wow.
Harry Potter spell?
Russell. Celonis. Celonis.
Ooh, that's a drug.
As a business intelligence platform. Of course.
Heard of that one.
Of course. Jess. Lumify. Lumify.
I think I have that. I think that's a business. Is that a cool light that syncs to your phone?
Bad news, that's a brand of eye drops.
Oh, hey, all right.
It sure sounds like it. That's kind of why I picked it. Scott, Mendix, Mendix.
I'm going to go for drug again and hope it mends you.
That's a low-code platform. I'm sure Russell's all about it. Mendix.
That's a back-end one. That's a different...
I think we've got one correct out of 6 or 5 or 6 so far. Russell, Vimovo, Vimovo, Vimovo.
Okay, that's a bank. Online bank.
Not an option. That is a pain med, of course.
Oh, darn.
One more time through. Jess, Denodo, Denodo.
I'm going to say that's a product.
It is data visualization. Very good.
Hey!
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, you
Data
knew.
visualization.
You're a big
Totally.
Denodo head. Jess and Scott tied. Scott, Kevzara, Kevzara.
Medical product.
That's an arthritis medicine. Very good.
Okay.
Clinching it. And Russell, lastly, Upneek, Upneeq.
Neeq?
Upneek.
That's got to be medical. Too hard to spell.
Yeah. It's a droopy eyelid med. You're very good.
After years of these games, Leo, I've just learned to take every instinct I have and just do the opposite. And that's
Well, great news. For the first time, I think, ever, maybe, you've won. 2-1. Great
I
job.
have learned how to do this.
I think that means you have to go first this week.
All right, let's do this.
Hit me. What do you got?
So my little sister has a master's in food science, and the more I talk to her, the more I learn about nutrition and food, and I want to start a movement with you guys. We have had air fryer movements. We have had just random panini presses, just random things that just like appear in your kitchen over time. I want to start a freeze drying one, and I don't know why this doesn't exist yet. So you can get like a dehydrator, and dehydrator just a box in your kitchen, and it'll take all the moisture out of it. But you lose a bunch of nutritional value, at least according to my little sister. Like something like 60 to 80% just kind of goes away with it. Freeze dryer retains 99% of nutritional value, and it's just like astronaut food. You get your freeze dried ice cream or strawberries and whatnot. You go online, and they are stupid expensive. They're like $5,000 to $7,000, but they're all industrial ones. There's not a good commercial one yet. And just looking online how to build one of these, you just need 3 things. You need a freezer, you need a vacuum chamber to put all in, and a vacuum pump. All of these can be found for really cheap on AliExpress. Like the vacuum chamber is just a pressure cooker, any off-the-shelf pressure cooker. The vacuum pump is, you can find refrigerator grade ones for cheap, and then a cooling system, which is just anything that cools. How hard would it be to put all these 3 things together, give it a nice outer shell, brand it as something, and be like 99% nutrition? And that is my whole pitch. I want to start the new air fryer movement.
I see.
The freeze dryer.
The freeze dryer.
There we go.
That is so fun. I have had freeze-dried candies now at like craft fairs and stuff, and they're so fun. Like, I don't know if they use like I was going to say nitroglycerin. That's not right. What are the
dry
nitrogen? What?
Dry ice?
Dry ice, but liquid that they
liquid
like, you
nitrogen.
put a rose in it at a science
Liquid
fair.
nitrogen.
Is it liquid nitrogen? Yeah, liquid nitrogen. I feel like you can do interesting things with that in the kitchen, and obviously it's been proven that freeze drying stuff can yield interesting like foods that are convenient and shelf stable and all that. Yeah.
It lasts literally forever, and it makes all food taste weird. So,
Well, that's maybe part of the reason why.
yeah, but like, I don't know. Maybe we can market it to all the preppers.
You put a sandwich in there with chips in there and a smoothie and all that, and it's all just cotton candy, but different flavors.
That's honestly a totally different great idea, though. Just market a fully freeze-dried sandwich. All the parts are there. It'll last forever.
Microwave.
The idea of selling these to the home is fun, but why don't you become the producer and just sell the interesting foods?
That's also, ever since I had those freeze-dried Skittles, I'm like, there's something to this here. I want to just freeze-dry everything.
Start up a warehouse?
That's a good idea.
I mean, there's like, I bet the dehydrator before it became consumer friendly was in this exact spot on this exact podcast 15, 20 years ago.
80s podcast.
Dehydrator, but smaller, right? I mean,
Trust me, guys.
computer.
Beef. We'll make beef, but dehydrated. You'll love it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something like, if you're saying like, you just take an Instapot out and you just have like the racks, wire racks in there, and you got layers of Skittles, fruits, and something weird. We'll throw that in. Let's go. Freeze dry it.
You just freeze it so it's fully solid, and then put in a vacuum chamber and lower the pressure until all the water sublimates.
Whoa.
Is there a word like jerky, but for freeze-dried food? Like a thing that is the concept, the product that is made other than freeze-dried blank? I think that's kind of all I've ever heard.
If there isn't, I think we have to invent it right now.
I guess so. What do you call it? Come on, Russell, marketing genius.
Wait, what? The device?
What do you call the thing that gets made, the food?
Instead of jerky.
Oh, space food. Because the ice cream, right? Space ice cream is freeze-dried ice cream.
Galaxy.
That's it.
Yeah.
I will say though, Scott, I am very into health and nutrition and kitchen appliances. So I'd be all about a freeze dryer, a countertop freeze dryer. That'd be great.
Our
That'd
first
be
generation
so great.
one's going to be the size of your oven, but we'll try to shrink it down.
Can I keep it in my garage, basement?
The more I'm reading into this, the more I'm like, we could make one that could realistically be the size of an air fryer or something.
I think Technology Connections did a thing about the smallest freeze dryer that you can buy, and it was super, super, super expensive, but an interesting watch. I wonder, so why is it so expensive to get freeze-dried things now? I know that our local grocery store, Meijer, has like a very small section next to the canned fruits and stuff where it's just a few like popcorns and snacks and stuff, and then boom, there's freeze-dried strawberries and 1 or 2 other freeze-dried fruits, and it's like $9 for the lightest little bag, and they're fun and they're fine, but Is it just that there's not the economies of scale? Why are they so expensive? Is it just take a lot of energy? How long does this process take?
Oh, yeah, maybe that.
You are asking great questions right now, and I don't have my little sister here, so
All right, we'll power it with solar panels, okay? So there's no cost to energy, all right? It's cheap now.
Maybe you hook it up to your existing fridge and stuff and leech the efficiency off of that.
You know, this is kind of like the ice cream maker. Everybody wants to have one. They're enormous. You get one. You love it for like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe months. And then you're like, oh, this is going to sit in the basement for a while. You know?
Sure enough, it was 2 months ago that
Community
Technology
ones.
Connections published a video called I Bought a Freeze Dryer So You Don't Have To. And the thing looks like a freaking washing machine. It's huge.
So I did look into this.
Yeah, they need to have like the small air fryer countertop version.
It's $5,000. That's the one.
Whoa.
I feel like the air dryer, like the current ones, right? They're like the size, like they're like a 3D printer size.
Yeah.
You can buy them, but they're
$5,000.
really expensive.
No
right?
way. Give me an Arduino and an Instapot, and I'll give you a freeze dryer that will never be UL certified.
Jess, would you buy one?
Not for
What
$5,000.
would you put in there?
Oh, I would definitely freeze dry stuff. You know, you're right though. They do taste weird. Like you ever get the strawberries in your cereal, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's if you just eat it, it's like, ooh.
That's
or even like
weird.
some raspberries, they get freeze dry them. They do taste very strange.
Yeah.
But I think what's nice about it is the nutrition piece. And as a mom who's trying to get snacks and not need to get not have to have like bowls and containers and things, it's like I would love to just give my kids a bag of freeze dried fruit or something for the car instead of like fresh fruit, because like it just you have fresh fruit, you have to cut it up, you have to wash it and then put it in a bag, and if they drop it, it gets all nasty. Whereas a freeze dried strawberry, it's like, pick it up off the fan floor, it's fine.
Right.
No big deal. So I think it's a convenient and nutrition, which is isn't that what every mom wants for their kid? I want it to be convenient, but I also want it to be nutritious, so they're not just eating goldfish all day.
They are, shelf stable. It's like a Ziploc baggie of snack that you've made, but it is vegetables and fruits and interesting stuff. Yeah, totally.
Market's there.
The market's
That's what you're
there.
saying. Definitely, actually.
The words of Russell. We'll
That's
leave it to
exact-
the engineers, but I really believe this one's possible.
Oh man, Zap. What do you call? Yeah, I guess like the Zapper.
Zapper.
That sounds no.
Frostbites.
Ooh, frost bites.
Ooh, frost
Oh,
bites.
Frostbites.
You just-
what the? You thought
Top
this?
of the dome.
You said that before. Off the dome.
No, there was a Reddit post with a guy with a really bad frostbite today, and it was horrible. But
Oh,
but inspired this great
Inspired
idea.
freeze drying.
I love
business.
it. I'm in. Sam, let's get
anyone who has
frostbite.
experience with actual frostbite maybe won't be
Frostbite.
appetized by that. And I have a Frostbiter 3000 from Brandon Easy.
Like, can you imagine making having freeze dried vegetables like carrots, celery, onion, and there's a soup base. Now you can just you can
Ooh.
meal prep a bunch of different packets of soup
Yeah.
bases, and then it's like, oh, chicken noodle soup. Well, here we
Just
go.
add
I've
water.
got all the things. Just throw in some, amazing. You could do mason jar meals. It would be so cute. You could meal prep meals in a mason jar. Put a little bow on it, a little ribbon, give it to your friend. Just add water.
It's like those instant ramen cups, but it's just not, the noodles aren't made of styrofoam. It's like actual pasta and ingredients went into this.
Right. Which they already sell at the store. Like they do sell those. It's just they're really expensive, to buy. It's like, wow, I got to pay $15 for a jar of chicken noodle soup.
Right.
Dude, Jess will sell this so hard, Scott.
I know. I know.
It's gonna make one.
So obviously the end product the process is a bit different between dehydrating something and freeze drying it. The process is a lot different, but how does the flavor and stuff come out different? I don't know if I've ever compared like dehydrated strawberries and freeze dried strawberries, dehydrated vegetables and freeze dried vegetables. Are they that different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
Everything I've ever tried that's been free dry is just like, yeah, this was a strawberry, but this tastes just weird. I don't know
It's
why.
like cotton candy
It's
eyes.
crunchy.
It kind of melts in your mouth.
yeah.
And do you rehydrate it?
Like,
Do you put it in a bowl of milk with cereal and rehydrate it, or you just eat it dry?
just eat it like a Cheez-It?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it would taste better if it was rehydrated.
Probably.
Yeah.
How much of the original product do you get back if you throw your freeze dried strawberries in a cup of water for 10 minutes? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fun to try.
I think at Aldi they sell these freeze dried strawberries packs that Zay loves.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
And they're way better than fruit snacks. They're way better than everything else.
It's
So
just
we
a
buy,
strawberry.
we pay a premium for like 2-ounce bag of strawberry chips.
They're so light, and you don't get very much, and they're expensive. Yeah.
I was
And
watching
so-
a YouTube right
yeah.
before this where it just shows how much water they're actually pulling out of fruits and stuff, and it's ridiculous. It's like the volume of the entire strawberry is just water. I don't know what's remaining afterwards.
Foam.
Foam.
Everything's foam.
We're all made up of foam.
There's your company name. Everythingsfoam.com.
Everything's foam.
FOMO.
FOMO.
You know you want
Put it
it.
in the FOMO-matic.
Manic. Wait, okay, hold on. What if you blend up these vegetables and fruits and now you turn it into like seasoning? Is it better? You think it'd be better, like onion powder and garlic powder? This is better garlic powder because it's got all the nutritional. I don't know how garlic powder is
Whoa.
made today, right?
Straight up celery salt. It's freeze-dried celery and salt.
You just sell spices that are better than any other
Put 'em in a
spices.
blender.
Russell, that's a really good idea.
Let's just, yeah, they're premium. They cost more because you have to buy. I mean, I don't know. You start there to fund your frostbite, Scott. So, like, I would never eat kale. Let's say plain, but I sprinkle it on, a little something. Maybe they cook it better. I cook it better, but yeah.
Well, they do that with organ meats.
Really?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you can like sprinkle beef liver and other organ meats onto things that you can't taste it, but you still get the nutritional benefit from it without tasting it.
Interesting.
Dang, I'm gonna be Popeye. Popeye with all
Freeze-dried
these-
liver. Making me hungry.
I have not ever tried it, but I do know it exists.
Because no one wants to just eat it.
All right, Leo, what have you brought us this week?
All right, I want to get a little bit high level and heady and not talk about, laser tags and stuff, but something a little bit more abstract. So, the escrow account that we have that goes along with our mortgage was one of the easiest things that I've ever set up in my adult life. Like, if I think about paying for a hospital bill or whatever, total nightmare every time. But getting it set up so that my bank bent over backwards to say, oh, who's your insurance provider? Oh, we'll take care of all that. We already know where your house actually is. We'll take care of all your taxes. How much oh, you didn't pay enough this year? We'll just adjust for it automatically. All this stuff to make my life super, super convenient so that they're just taking out the money that they need to or raising the prices automatically and adjusting it so that I have certain bills in my life that are just taken care of. It's whack how easy that is. And I've done a little bit of research about this. It's because the banks that own your mortgage don't want you to default on that mortgage if at all possible, right? So they want you to remain a good investment. And so they work a little bit harder to make it easier for you to pay your taxes and to do your insurance for your house and all that stuff so that you're less likely to be a problem for them, right? But it's made me crazy how every utility that we pay for has a different user account system with different credit cards are accepted here but not there, and you need to go to this other portal and have a different system for logging into that. This one accepts bill pay, that one doesn't. We got to mail checks only to this gas company versus whatever. It's crazy that you have to have all these different systems. And I'm looking at this escrow thing that was just like whisked away from my life. We will handle all of this for you, and it wasn't that hard. And the second I don't have a mortgage anymore, I'm going to lose that, which is a bummer. But I wish that there was, here's my pitch, ready? 4 words: escrow for all bills. I will pay 20, 30, maybe even $40 a month. That's a little steep to have a middleman collect all of my regular monthly bills, get the money to them to automatically adjust for, hey, in the winters you tend to use more of this electricity, so be prepared for that, and just sort of abstract away all of the bill pay type stuff that I have to fiddle with in my life. Have you ever had your debit or credit card just expire because the numbers have changed? 20 places you got to go, like, remember, oh, I got to re-enter this, and why isn't this gone right? And oh no, my insurance actually expired because I forgot to. That is crazy. And yeah, I don't think it would be super hard to be like a little like personal assistant type, middleman type escrow service where you just sort of get access to your clients' regular bills. I'm not talking about their, Uber Eats bills and stuff. Just the basics you need to have to participate in the modern economy, right? But like, take care of it for me. Escrow for all bills.
Yes.
2028.
Okay. I love this because I've always I don't know, I'll talk about this another time, but like garnishing your own pay to like put it into a spot and have it be handled like through this escrow. So you know exactly what your fund money looks like, right? Your discretion. It's kind of like the envelope method, the David Ramsey one, but the envelope is an escrow account, and that escrow account expands and contracts, and you never see it hit, let's say, your checking account.
Yep.
Because it's going to go away anyway.
Yes.
Why have your checking account be a middleman to your bills, right? Have your escrow be there, right? And so you put a little petty cash in there, let's say $1,000, right? Just to make it right. And then the account expands and contracts based on what you're saying. It gets really smart, right?
And if you're using a debit card, your bank already has all this for you. It could be another account type that they will offer as a service. They already clearly have the infrastructure to take care of sending out these payments and stuff automatically for the bills that they do handle. Like, charge a little extra, bank that I already have my stuff in. You already know that I pay every month to my internet service provider and my gas company and whatever because I pay with a debit card. Just like, do it for me.
I tried to set up something like this with my bank, where exactly what you're saying, Russell, where, direct deposit, here's my paycheck. It'll automatically pull things into different guys. And they limit me. You can have at most 3 different things that it can go towards. And it always ends up being your like 401k, your insurance, and then or mortgage, and then just like checking account. And if I could make 30 of them, like distributed out before that final check hits my checking account, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Digital envelope method, right?
Digital envelope, yeah.
What do you mean maximum of 3? Tell me more about what you did. What were you able to do?
It's either my company or the bank where you can put in direct deposits, different accounts for this check is going to be distributed in this many ways. Yeah. And I would love to do it that way because then I could have an account for all the different things that you want. But your idea is even better because it's someone else managing all of that.
The in and the out.
And you would have one direct deposit to this. Yeah.
I know that there's what you're describing at my employer. I don't think I've ever run up against a limit. So I think it might be your employer doesn't let you do more than 3.
I'm sure it is.
Because we definitely have gone to our credit union and said, like, can I have 2 more savings accounts? And they're like, sure, or whatever. They don't care. They'll open more savings accounts, which is cool. You just want to do that and also have, like, some dude at the bank remembering to send an email and payment for you.
Yeah, I mean, it could even be its own credit card number, right? Like, you could have it's just a Visa card, right? It collects points. It does all the same stuff, but it just does things a little differently, right? You're always filling that account. It's like a prepay bill pay, right?
I want to tell my bank I am a customer of Comcast and just let them do it. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to generate a number and then go to Comcast and remember to keep the number up to date and then keep track of did it actually happen and all that stuff. Just do it. And if that makes my bill from $65 a month to $68 a month, easy, no question.
I think you could make this really a very profitable business, Leo, in just like the way Venmo operates, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you take an interest. Like everybody's account's never zero, just like Venmo's. Like everybody's account's always got a little money in there, right? Take a cut off the top. You throw in your like it's a credit card, let's say. So you take a transaction fee on every payment, like instead of you collecting points, right? You're losing those points. You're trusting your escrow to pay all those bills. Whoa. And then maybe you could have the escrow pay you, right? You could invest if you wanted to invest your petty cash or part of that prepay, right? So if you're always putting in, let's say the convenience of having one payment for necessities, right? Every time I pay my bills or every time I get a paycheck, half of it goes to necessities. The other half goes into my checking, right? Yeah. And now that's accumulating interest on the day every day in some way, shape, or form. There's so much play there, I think. So I don't know. Oof, that's cool. I'm hype about that one.
Yeah.
That's a Storazon level.
Could you make that like a free service? I really like what you're saying about the Venmo methodology. It's just totally free.
I think that's how Robinhood's
Yes.
business model was when they started was, you put $100 in, you buy $80 worth of stock. We're going to, in the background, without you knowing, invest that extra 20 that's quote unquote free cash that you still have access to. You don't know that we haven't, but there's all this slush money that's in transit that we can do stuff with while it's sitting. That's how they were free when they launched.
And just have ChatGPT run the whole thing in the background.
Oh my God, no.
Here's all of my credit card information.
If this was a totally separate independent business that came along, I don't know how quick I would be to like give over all of my gas and electric bills to it, right? But if it was something that the banks already offered or something, needs a name.
I don't think I'd be an early adopter on this
Right.
one unless it was my bank.
That's how they get you.
A lot of these
That's
cool
why-
fintech startups will have like a cool bank and it's actually an FDIC-backed bank that they're just like the front end for. So you can maybe do something like that. I don't know. We had Simple for
Yes.
years and then they shut down and now I have a fund money account at One Finance, which is fine. But their actual thing is like when I look at my routing number, it's some actual bank in California, but they're just the web digital front end for it, So you could maybe partner with some actual existing bank to do the whole legal checking, taking care of compliance and all that stuff and just build the I have built infrastructure to pay all of these utilities and to manage who has what.
Isn't that like what Synchrony Bank is? Like Amazon. I know is it Synchrony?
Synchrony, yeah.
I'm not part of the
Oh,
podcast.
That's
sorry.
who
Fully on Ryan
Simple
Bank.
was a Synchrony bank. That's right.
You can
Actually,
ask
Special
should talk about
guest Sam Zoe.
You guys should talk about financial advice. This is the perfect financial advisor service, by the way. That's the market.
A financial advisor.
My financial advisor does all these things for you or has this tack on service.
Dang.
Like
Maybe this
that's
already
your
exists.
market. That's
Oh.
right. I think this exists. I bet a person exists of this now, but you guys should just create the app to help the service. That would be
Edward Jones creates this, and oh yeah, I like that.
That's great. It's the first couple guest podcast episode.
His and hers pitches.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Sam's on here too.
Oh my bad.
Welcome back
No,
to the
this is
show,
great.
Sam Zow.
I'm ironically doing my taxes. At
You're
the
doing your
moment.
taxes at the moment? Oh, great.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what can I do sitting next to her while she's pitching her idea? So I'm doing my taxes.
Yeah.
That's so true, though. Like, imagine financial advisor services that want to find like the next big, person or client. They're just watching who's got the biggest escrow, right? Who wants to manage the least amount of their money, and they just find the escrow. It's a lead pipeline, as well. So it's just money making machine.
And right now, the only people who have escrow accounts are like middle America who have a mortgage, but have a mortgage. You know what I mean? Like if you're either too rich and you don't need a mortgage and you don't have one, or you don't have a house and a mortgage and you don't, yeah.
Yeah, I've been share a little bit about my life. Why not? Because this is the podcast, right? I've been garnishing my own wages and putting it into like some savings account, right, or something. I got to figure out where to invest it, and it's caused us, like me and Carrie, literally in the car. She's like getting really interested in financial planning and like spending and all this other stuff, and you're like, yeah. Imagine if we lived like this, right? On this salary instead of my current salary. This is what it would be like, right? And this is a reasonable salary that we're living off of.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, it'd be cool to have one payment, because now I'm like, we're balancing three different credit card payments at 3 different times for 3 different things, and you're just like, if there was a way to just like have a little bit of there's something about like having a buffer. I don't know, that would be cool to like manage your costs over time. Yeah, I guess this is financial advisor services, but it's too confusing.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
that is.
I didn't even think about credit cards. Yeah.
Oh, it's
That's
like
interesting.
another thing. I think there's a market for prepaid services, right? Like when you prepay your cell phone bill, right? You pay ahead of time. Every other company has a cash flow problem or whatever. They have to invoice. There's a whole AR thing, right? If your escrow service slowly turned into a prepay service, so now Comcast doesn't have to worry if you're going to pay your bill or whatever, because you have it in an escrow, and it's almost like you become a prepay provider for all bills, reducing Comcast costs because they already know 100,000 people are going to pay their bill on time.
Guaranteed.
You don't have to worry about your cash flow or
Totally.
all that stuff, right?
Which gives these various providers incentive to advertise you. Hey, there's this cheaper free service that if you sign up for them,
Yeah.
we'll take care of payments with them. We'll help work with them so that Yeah, exactly. It's to
Oh, there you
everyone's
go.
benefit to
And
have
then
this
because
company
of the,
exist.
they want the cash flow, so they might even offer you a discount
Yes.
on your bill. We'll give you $5 off your
Totally.
Wi-Fi bill, to use this service and prepay.
I know Comcast has a $5 discount for auto pay. It's basically
Next level.
that, but
Yep.
even better.
Yeah, all the best,
Yeah.
well, all the cheapest phone plans out there are prepay because they don't have to worry about AR or whatever, right? You pay ahead of time and they shut down your service if you don't pay. Like this for everything else, but it's guaranteed because it's escrow. It just makes sense. I don't know. There's just something there that grows.
Yeah.
Yeah, this becomes a unicorn quick, I think. But Leo just casually dropping a unicorn on Spitball.
This kind of company can also do the proactive alerting. I know I shouldn't, but it's easy for me to get in the habit of checking what my actual bill total was every couple of months, not every month, right? Because they're all set to auto pay. I see the money go out. Was that a lot for winter in gas bill? That seems like roughly right. So I'm not going to look at the line items anymore. But if I had this middleman actually scanning the invoices and saying, "Oh, you used triple the amount of water than you usually do. Is everything okay?" or whatever, right? It'd be nice as just a service for the person.
My husband got a hot tub.
For my wife.
I have never seen or been in Russell's hot tub.
That's true. It's just one of those inflatable squares,
Russell's Costco Black Friday.
I did heat it up with a sous vide.
Powered.
That was dangerous and stupid.
It's the most Michigan problem ever, and I love it. It's too cold for my hot tub.
My hot tub's too cold to start.
New idea next week. Tune in.
All right, Russell, you're up. What do you got?
So, all right, after having a baby, I had a lot of appointments that I had scheduled that I'm like, oh, I'm having time off. I'll just go to them, right? Because I have all this free time. I'm not working. Well, it turns out you have a harder job when you take time off for a baby. There is less time in your life.
Yeah.
And availability. So every appointment I ever scheduled during those 6 weeks, 2 weeks that I had off, just straight in the trash, right? No way am I going to go to those things. Optimism, right? But here's the thing. I worked with my dentist. I worked with some other places, and I'm like, throw me on the cancellation list, right? My dentist eventually would literally text me, "Hey, you available for this appointment?" No. So then they text me next week, "Are you available this week? How about tomorrow?" A cancellation just dropped it. Literally, I got text from this dentist because she's amazing at her job, right? Because she knows every calendar booking means money in the bank, right? Not money loss. So I was like, wow, what a pain in the ass for her to constantly be texting everybody on this list of people on the wait list to jump into a dentist appointment that may or may not happen at 9 a.m., right? So my suggestion is creating a third-party tool for standby lines for all appointments, right?
Love it.
Dentists, haircuts. You can go as far as what are those professional workout people that get paid on the commission?
Oh, like a personal trainer?
Personal trainer. Yes, right?
Yeah.
You could even do restaurant reservations.
Yeah,
Sure.
high end.
Oh,
Anything like
yes.
cancellation. People cancel everything.
All the time, right? Hotels too, right? There's an app, Hotel Tonight, that I expected to give me discounts on, but imagine the mom and pop shops that have hotels that just okay, cancellation, book
Just
it, half
money
the
on
price.
the table we're leaving, or we could fill it.
Yes.
Every time I've ever made a doctor's appointment in the last year, if I went to a couple specialists and even some that were decently out of town, and I'll always say, "Oh yeah, I just live down the street from you guys. Call me anytime." And if you haven't, because it's 6 months until their next appointment, and I'll just lie and say I am very close to you. I will make it work, whatever happens. And half the time it would work, and I would just leave whatever I'm doing at my job and book it out several miles or to a different city in order to make it.
Dude, you sync this let's say you go two ways, right? Amazing for the businesses, but for me, if I were to sync my Google Calendar or whatever to it, they could even provide this service for me. So my dentist assistant person would just look at my calendar or look at her list of availability, and it just would match instantly. Here are 3 people that are on wait list, right? Or whatever.
this person doesn't tend to make it when you ask. This other person has a score of 9, and they're likely to be a Scot who runs.
Scores, of course.
All right.
Or you just send it out to 3 people, first come, first serve, right? First person to press the button in the app.
Oh, I like that.
Send the notification.
It's
booked.
a game.
It's a game. Sorry, you lost.
Dentist
Like,
game.
Get the high
Wait,
score.
Right.
yeah.
100%. Because you can't have them texting people. Like, it's so awkward when you have like one slot and it's like, well, I want to text 10 people and tell them there's one slot. But if someone grabs it, I text them and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Right.
Never mind.
Too late.
So, yeah, the button thing fills your spot.
But then the
Great.
first person doesn't answer, and you have the opposite problem. How long do I give them before I text the next in line?
Right.
Well, no, then you keep adding a discount to it or something. Like airlines would do that. If you're late, if they're overbooked on a flight, they'll be like, we'll offer $100 per person. No one takes it. $200, $300. Someone's going to take it eventually, but you don't want to miss out on that opportunity, so everyone's incentivized. 15% off your dental appointment. That's kind of sketchy. I don't want to. It's going for like a free haircut. You don't want a free
Discount
haircut.
haircut. Oh, did you get a discount haircut? Ooh. You must have been on the wait list.
Okay. I don't know why, but somebody said something and made me think you could totally sell your spot in line through this app too.
Have scalpers on day 2. I've signed up for every
hilarious.
doctor's appointment.
Like, Scott,
That's
if
so
you have
funny.
if you have a doctor's appointment at a time that I want, just cancel and I'll pay you $20. Like, what if, to your point, like that's the standby line. Like, anybody want to leave the flight for $500, right? I mean, maybe somebody is willing, and the dentist doesn't care. Like, the dentist doesn't care. Like, go ahead, sell the seat. It's still the same
Right.
service to them. Maybe they get a commission. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too much, but like,
I'm pretty excited. Yesterday, I got an appointment for the world's 3rd best oncologist down in Nebraska. But I'm going to flip that thing a couple of weeks from now, and it's going to be worth a fortune.
It's just what we need for the
Oh,
American
no.
healthcare system.
Oh,
One
no.
more
Right.
level.
Couldn't get any worse, could it, boys? I just invented it.
I went on eBay to get these tickets to go to the
Like
urologist.
buying tickets for a football game. Buy them just to flip them.
Incredible.
Let's see the world burn one oncology appointment at a time. Ticketmaster and then
Right.
all of a sudden,
Ticketmaster gets into U.S. healthcare.
everybody's using my app because it's an amazing tool to book appointments and schedule. Then you pull the rug under them and you say, "Ha, fees on fees on fees." Okay, yeah, that's right. We know capitalism now.
Oh God.
2025. Okay, but yeah, that'd be a spitball.
That's yep.
We gotta.
Once you make it, it's actually for you. It's pretty easy to lock down, yeah.
All right, we saved the best for last. Jess, what do you got for us?
All right. All
Let's
right.
hear it.
Hold on to your seats, guys. Here we go. So, well, I feel like it's actually similar to something that Russell said. So, I love making sourdough, right? Well, kind of, not everyone knows that, but you guys know that. I love making sourdough. I love making sourdough everything. And I also love eating it, but I don't want to own a micro bakery. There's way too many startup costs for that, right? But I love selling it to like friends or neighbors or people in my town. And I really feel like there's a lot of people like that. Like, hey, I would make rolls or pasta or bagels or anything for you like occasionally, but not, I don't want to get branding and be a big baker or something. But I have this skill and I'm willing to share it with people. And so you have this opportunity for people to order things, to order sourdough or micro bakery type things, from people like me. And it's like an order comes up and I can, like the standby line, I can choose to take it. Like, yeah, I'm free today. I could make that. Or sure, I could have 5 loaves by Friday. But like, I don't want to be a baker and have people just demand all my time and be like, yeah, I want 20 loaves. Yeah, I want 5 loaves today, tomorrow, the next day. Like, I can't do that every day of my life. But I would really love to be able to sell it sometimes, to just be able to make some money, but not have it be my job. It's like Uber, but I'm Uber Eats, but I'm like other way around. It's like, sure, I will claim that food order and I will make it and fulfill it.
Those are what's it called? Cottage food laws, right? Where
Yeah. Mhm.
I can sell baked goods and I don't need like a full
From my
FDA
home.
approval. Yeah, it's from my home. But
Yep.
you're combining that with like the open source or Leo, what are those like 3D print groups where all these people have a 3D printer and anyone can select jobs from this large site.
It's a gig economy.
And just print at home. Gig economy. Thank you.
Because so many of us sourdough bakers are already making stuff all the time. Like I make stuff to feed my family. It'd be really easy to make an extra loaf when I'm making a loaf.
Yeah.
But if I'm not making it, I don't want to really like make something for somebody else. But if there's an order comes up, it's like, oh, sure, I'll make that. I'll make that tomorrow, whatever day. Bagels, sure. I feel like making an extra $10, extra $20. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, so this is like a ticketing system of like, I want a dozen bagels, some homemade bagels, right? Let's go.
And see who around.
Right. And then you wouldn't have to find a local baker or bakery or friend to make them for you. You could just get on your phone and be like, I want bagels. And then it'll be like, Jessica Zoe will be fulfilling your order. Like, you know, sourdough takes a while. So it'll be like tomorrow.
Pick them up here.
Sourdough can't be instant, unfortunately. But,
yeah,
you know, that's the idea.
It's part of the rules. It's part of the fun, I think, too.
Yep.
It's the trade-off. Like,
would this marketplace be assisted or hindered by a rating system of the bakers and stuff? Like, oh man, I got Diane again. Oh, she's awful. You know.
You know, I was wondering that because obviously when it's homemade, it's like, do you get to like select like I only want to pick from like these 5 people? Like, are there like
the 5-star
a list
ones.
of bakers, and you could start like, you know, making your own baker like wish list and be like, only if these 5 people say yes.
When you go to post a thing on Facebook Marketplace, there's a checkbox that says like, don't show this to my friends and family. So you almost need like okay, did you like that meal that you just had? Okay, don't ever show my tickets to that person ever again.
There you go. Yep. Or like you also need a way to make sure that people's kitchens are like, you know, it's like, I don't want someone baking that has cats or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want.
And a peanut oil house or whatever.
Right. Allergy stuff or So, you know, it's like, then I can have all these like little things, these little stars on my profile, like peanut free, this free, dairy free, whatever. I don't know.
Totally.
That would be so cool. Because I feel like people that want to eat sourdough or eat something that's like healthy or homemade, to go to a bakery is, well, it is really expensive, but also sometimes they don't have the variety that you're hoping for, or you just don't have one in your town. Like, I don't even know where. Most towns probably don't have a sourdough bakery.
Right.
It's made with love too. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Only if you get one
That's
of the
app.
top.
It's made with love, right? Added ingredient, right? The secret ingredient. And that's it. That's why.
Your order will be fulfilled by Taco Bell. What? Ah, you got the corporations on your app.
All right. So here's what I don't know. So does someone get to just put up in the app, like, I would like blueberry sourdough scone, or is it like they have a menu in the app and bakers upload what they can make, and then people can like click on stuff like a menu? Because I'm very creative, and if you tell me to make something, like, sure, I'll look up a recipe and it'll probably be great. My motto is it'll probably be fine.
I like that way better.
You know, so there's this fun side to it. Like, cool, I'll make something new. Like, I want to try.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I a couple of episodes ago, I don't even know if this episode's out yet, Russell pitched, I think it was Russell, Grandma's Sassified, like, baking delivery fulfillment service. So it was kind of like that, where you have, like,
hilarious.
Etsy stores, but they're all menus of, you know, recipes that people have posted. I make this really well. And then his pitch was you outsource that idea to, like, the factory actually makes it. And you just put the recipe in there. Remove all the love.
Remove the love.
But, having it not be menu based, where you have like, what are 5 different local people's takes on blueberry scones, is really fun.
I think that's where the match happens. Like, you uploading your recipe makes it make sense. It's a little bit anonymous, right? So like, maybe you know, you might be the only baker that does scones this way, right? So then trying to not overwhelm that person, like, dude, those scones I got on whatever app, like, I'm ordering them every week now. And now all of a sudden you're just like overwhelmed because you're just such a good baker. All of a sudden, like, everybody's buying that recipe.
She's going viral on, what's the app called? Ooh.
Honestly, if there was an app or a website where I could order just a box of scones, but they were all made by a different person, logistically it's a nightmare. But I got to like blindly vote on these, and then a communal vote of the world of like, A1 is the best scone of all of these made by such and such and boost his business. I would do that in a heartbeat. I'd love that.
So then it would just be like a drop-off thing where I would bring like 30 scones and drop them off at a certain place, and so would 10 other bakers. And then there would only be 30 boxes available, right? And we put one scone in each box. And then it's just there's just a limit to how many. It's like, okay, every Friday there's 30 boxes, first come, first serve. Oh, then you can start bidding on them.
Oh man, I've been making muffins out of a box because I just like don't have the energy to make it from scratch, right? But if I could there's something different about like, I buy muffins all the time. I go to LJ's, get the muffins there. I get muffins from Blueberry store, and like but they're not like as good as like, I don't know, even the box stuff that I make at home, it tastes better than sometimes the stuff I get at LJ's, right? And so it's like, it'd be nice to just get somebody with a little bit more,
So someone who knows how to handle a sourdough,
Just like, I'm trying my best with this box, but like, it'd be nice as somebody who actually tried to like provide like the good stuff. You're like,
fresh fruit, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Fresh fruit, real good ingredients, There's no shortcutting of employee work or whatever. I mean, it's just like, I don't know.
Your app would be
nice.
the first thing I would fire up if I was traveling, too. If I'm in a new town for a week, what are they known for here? Oh, a really good curry that's made by that lady down the street or whatever. That sounds awesome. Delivered to my hotel room for sure.
Oh, that'd be interesting, too.
Wow. That would be really
just
cool.
Just like a convenient way to get food that's homemade from people that you don't know. But that's just awesome. You do have to deal with the random arsenic, poisoning or whatever. But
just give them a 1-star review and then move on.
I'm sure the 1-star reviews will keep all of the ill intentions in check.
Yeah. They will be hilarious to read.
Razor blades in your carrot cake, 1 star.
3 stars and above is just like how good of a baker you are. 2 or less, something's happening.
It'd be so cool to like just buy some like legit cookies, not like the.
I think you're just hungry.
Russell's in.
You are too.
He is like on board. All right, what are we gonna call the app, Russell?
I just want some good baked goods. Good.
Also miss homemade muffins.
Whole baked whole, or something like that. Like you could go healthy, holistic, or whole, like not fake. Maybe there's a spin on the app where it's just like not like crud ingredients. You have to use good stuff. Whole. Ah, no, it sounds weird. Donut hole. WHOLE. All right, Whole Foods.
Just hole it, baby.
Now I'm. Shoot.
I don't know what to do for dinner.
I'm
gonna hole it.
Whole goods instead of Whole Foods. Just
whole good.
We could just call it So Good. And then there you go.
Good.
That's pretty good.
And then no one would ever
So
mispronounce our last name again because it would become famous.
Yes.
So good.
So it's not Sao. Well, dear listener, if you are preparing dinner or wondering what to do for dinner tonight and you want to fire up an app, reach out to us. Take a look at the App Store. See if Zo Foods is up for download yet.
It's so good.
So good.
Thanks for listening. And thank you so much for hopping in, Jess. This is so much fun to have you.
It was fun to be here.
Our website is spitball.show. There you can find our YouTube channel, social media, email us questions, feedback, ideas, anything that you'd like to say to us. We are podcast at spitball.show. That's also how you can follow us in the Fediverse, such as Mastodon, or podcast at spitball.show, or on Blue Sky at spitball.show. Our subreddit is r/spitballshow. Our intro-outro music is Swingers by Bonkers Beat Club. Please, if you wouldn't mind, that one weird friend who's always like trying to make you baked goods in your work and you keep awkwardly accepting them even though you don't like them or want them anymore? Send them a link to this show. They'd love to hear it, and I'm sure we would love to have them as a listener. If you wouldn't mind, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is that you listen on. That is the best way for people to find out about the show. New episodes coming out in 2 weeks. We will see you then.